If you're a Lord of the Rings fan on a budget, this video's for you. I'm gonna let Samwise Gamgee take it away.
But we needs a few good taters. Brussels. But we needs a few good taters. Brussels. But we needs a few good taters. Brussels. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew.
We're taking a bag of potatoes and turning it into 4 different side/dishes that you can use to stretch your dollar a little bit further and also make something totally delicious.
Oh, rip off the Band-Aid. Water's everywhere. Okay.
Now I'm using Yukon Golds, but you can just as easily use russet potatoes for this. Just boil them until they're fork tender and then mash them however you see fit. Now, when I make mashed potatoes, of course I add butter, but I also add half and half for some of that heavy cream in there. I add a little bit of sour cream, and then my secret ingredient for my mashed potatoes is like 2 tablespoons, just like a little bit of cream cheese. And when I mix that all together, it'll be nice and creamy, and then I start to season. I do a little bit of salt at a time because potatoes can kind of hold on to a lot of salt, and I don't want these to be super salty. So taste as you go, and then when they're the way you like them, you're done. And these are the easiest, best mashed potatoes you will ever have. Now, if you're looking for a way to elevate potatoes past baked potatoes, but you're not really feeling mashed potatoes, let me introduce you to the Hasselback potato. We're gonna take a bamboo skewer and run it through the bottom of the potato when we make our cuts. That way the knife doesn't go all the way through. Then we're going to drizzle in some olive oil into each layer. We're going to get some salt and pepper in there, and then we're going to add in some herbs. I was using some sage that was on the verge of expiring. You know, waste not, want not. Drizzle with some more olive oil. Top it off with some additional salt and pepper, and we're going to bake these in the oven for about 50 minutes until they're nice and golden. At this point, we're going to pull them out of the oven, and we're going to brush them with some garlic butter, or you can use regular butter, whatever you want, or ghee. And we're going to pop these back in the oven for another 20 minutes. And when they come out, they will be nice and golden and crispy and so delicious. A 10-pound bag of russet potatoes at my local grocery store costs $4.49, so this is a great way to add a fun side to your dinner plate. Now, Samwise Gamgee did say boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. So we are making a really easy potato soup. Not a lot of ingredients here, and you can, make it fancier or not, based on preferences, based on budget. So we're going to start by browning up some bacon. I'm just using some bacon I got from Costco. Did you know bacon keeps really well in the freezer? Then you can add in an onion. We're going to sweat the onion and cook it until it's nice and softened for about 5 minutes over medium heat. At that point, we're going to add in some garlic, and we're going to cook this for another 1 to 2 minutes until the garlic has also softened and things get really fragrant. To complete the roux base of our soup, we're going to add in some flour. I used maybe about 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons of flour, and we're going to mix this together with our onions and cook it for about a minute or 2. You'll notice a little bit of buildup on the bottom of the pan. That's normal. To this, we're going to add our chicken stock, not broth. We want the nutrients from the bones in the chicken stock, along with some milk. Then we're going to bring this to a little bit of a simmer. We're going to add in our potatoes. Again, I'm using Yukon Golds. I find that they're creamier, and we want to make sure there's enough liquid to completely cover them. So I thought I had enough liquid at first, but I added some extra potatoes, so I needed to add more. We're going to add in some seasonings. I added some smoked paprika and some cayenne pepper, and we're going to mix this together, and we're going to bring it to a boil and allow it to cook for about 15 minutes. Check on the potatoes occasionally to make sure they're fork tender. Once they're super soft, then it's time to blend. After I've blended most of the potatoes, leave a couple chunks there. I'm gonna add some toppings in, some bacon, chopped green onions, a little bit of sour cream, and about 1.5 cups of cheese, and we're going to mix this together, season to taste, and there you have a very easy filling soup for everybody, though I would definitely serve this with a vegetable like broccoli for dinner. Now, the last type of potato we're making are fondant potatoes. Fondant potatoes? Fondant potatoes? I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's fine. I've never never had it before, I've never made it before, but we're going to do this together because we can do hard things. So we're going to peel a russet potato. We're going to cut the ends off so that it can stand up flat, and then we're going to cut this into 2-inch chunks. We're going to heat up some oil in a cast iron skillet while our oven is preheated to 425 degrees. And we are then going to place our fondant potatoes in the cast iron skillet, and we're going to sear them for about 5 to 6 minutes on both sides so they're nice and golden. And if you put way too much oil in your cast iron skillet like I did, now's a good time to remove it. Once the tops and the bottoms of the potatoes are nice and golden, we're going to add in our butter along with some garlic that we have peeled and sliced into quarters, along with some herbs. I'm using thyme and rosemary. You could add in additional herbs here if you wanted. We're going to give our potatoes a little flip to get them extra caramelized on the other side, and then we're going to start basting our potatoes with this garlic and herb butter. Basically, we're going to take a spoon and we're going to angle our pan to pick up the butter and the garlic and the herbs, and we're going to pour it over the potatoes.
Some of this on top of here. Just for a couple of minutes.
Once the time's up, we're going to remove the garlic and any of the herbs that have sat on the bottom of the pan because those will burn really easy when we put them in the oven. We're also going to add chicken stock. Tilt your pan away from you when you are adding liquids in to a hot fat. It'll bubble a bit and we don't want to burn ourselves or get any splatters anywhere. So tilting your pan away from you and slowly adding it in reduces the risk of splashback. Now we're going to pop these in the oven for about 35 minutes, but we're going to check at about 15 minutes, and if we need to add more liquid, we're going to add more liquid. We don't want it to evaporate too quickly. Once the time is up, here we go. To serve these, I just plated them with a little extra thyme and some salt, and these were so tasty. They melted in my mouth, which is where they get their name from. Regardless, this is a really simple way to elevate your weeknight dinners at home. You know, something tells me that Samwise Gamgee would be very happy with the quality of potatoes we made today. Additionally, I think he would be very pleased that these were all relatively inexpensive. They're all adaptable to what you have on hand, and they're all very filling. In order of difficulty, I would say easiest would be the mashed potatoes, then the Hasselback potatoes, then the potato soup, and then lastly the fondant potatoes. I think I would like to try my hand at those again. They didn't turn out perfectly, but they were still really, really tasty. Just a reminder that August is dedicated to all things Lord of the Rings in anticipation of Rings of Power Season 2 dropping in less than 10 days. I'm so excited. If you haven't seen the Season 2 trailer, please do. I think there's going to be a lot of improvements from Season 1. I know there was some controversy with that, but I am very, very excited. If you liked what you saw, smash that like button. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, drop those down below. I love to hear from you. I'm happy to chat with you and just shoot the breeze in the comments. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and ring the bell for notifications so you are the first to know when new videos go live. Share this with someone you would like to make these with. And I think that's it. So adventurers, make sure to take care of yourselves. Things are really, really hard out there. Things are very, very stressful, and I need you to make sure that you are taking care of you and do something nice for someone else. And with that said, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
But we needs a few good taters. Brussels. But we needs a few good taters. Brussels. But we needs a few good taters. Brussels. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. But we needs a few good taters. Brussels. Even you couldn't say no to that. Lovely big golden potatoes.